World War II, Section 8 with Ms. Lalshi. Technology during World War II. Sonar was improved and they were able to use it to locate submarines more effectively. Radar was used to detect the range of moving objects such as airplanes. Cryptic code breaking was used to decipher coded messages. The proximity fuse was used to detonate explosives when they reached their target. Antibiotics such as penicillin were produced on large scales for the first time to treat battlefield wounds for infection. Jet and rocket engines that had been developed before the war began to see the first real applications. So cryptic code breaking meant that you could break coded messages, which was important so we could tell what the Japanese, Italians, and Germans were saying to each other and within their own countries. Proximity fuse makes it to where you could be more accurate with bombs so that they would detonate in proximity to the target or near the target. The legacy of World War II. About 292,000 U.S. soldiers died in battle. 672,000 U.S. troops were wounded in World War II. There were more than 70 million deaths worldwide. An estimated 230,000 people were killed or missing after the bombings of Nagasaki and Hiroshima. The majority of people killed were civilians. Over 100 million people fought in World War II. It was the largest war in history. Nuremberg trials. After World War II and the Holocaust were over, Allied leaders put Nazi leaders on trial for crimes against humanity. Many on trial claimed that they had only followed orders. The majority were found guilty. They were either hanged or imprisoned. The Nuremberg trials set a standard that even in times of war, individuals are responsible for their actions. The division of Germany and denazification. Germany was divided into 4 zones after World War II. Each zone was controlled by an Allied power. Germany was divided to prevent another war from starting. Each Allied power introduced programs to expose the evils of the Nazis to the German people. They also introduced their form of government to each section. The French, British, and American sections had democratic governments. The Soviet section became communist. Berlin, the capital, was also divided into 4 sections. The Marshall Plan. After World War II, Europe's infrastructure and economy were left devastated. George C. Marshall was the chief of staff for both Franklin D. Roosevelt and Harry S. Truman. He proposed giving money to European countries, mostly Western European, to help them rebuild. The U.S. adopted the Marshall Plan, and its official name was the European Recovery Program, ERP. Under the Marshall Plan, the U.S. gave European countries $13 billion. In today's money, that would be more than $140 billion. The purpose of the Marshall Plan was to help European countries recover after the war and prevent a repeat of 1930s Germany. It also served to help prevent the spread of communism as countries were able to recover from the war more quickly. VJ Day. VJ stands for Victory in Japan. Japan surrendered after the U.S. dropped 2 atomic bombs on the cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. After Japan surrendered, World War II was finally over. The occupation of Japan. After World War II, General MacArthur was put in charge of rebuilding and reforming Japan. One major goal was to make the Japanese less aggressive. Japan lost its overseas empire. Military leaders were put on trial and punished. Japan renounced nuclear weapons and waging war. Japan was not allowed to have a navy or army. A constitution was established in 1947 and a democracy was established in Japan. The emperor remained a figurehead, similar to Great Britain.